I've been laughing out loud in my kitchen while watching the movie Aloha and making kimchi. It's rare for me to be this delighted by a movie, so I figured I'd share, especially since I'd never even heard of it before. And that got me wondering, like, why not? Is it brand new, or is it one of those, like, hidden gems of a movie, a sleeper film that people don't really appreciate until, like, 10 years later? So naturally, I decided to ask ChatGPT for a quick summary, and I wanted to know, was there any controversy, any gossip, interesting backstory about the film? How is it made? How is it received? Anything like that. And it turns out the story is surprisingly relevant to the world we live in today, with our skies filling up with satellites and the very real possibility that SpaceX might actually pull off a human mission to Mars. I mean, honestly, given what we've seen over the past 3 centuries, why would we not expect dramatic technological leaps in this century? Okay? So the plot of the movie itself is pretty simple. And this is just a summary. So a military contractor returns to Hawaii to help launch a weapons satellite. And while he's there, he reconnects with his ex-girlfriend. And he finds himself drawn to a spirited Air Force pilot who's been assigned to keep an eye on him. The movie weaves together romance, there's personal redemption story, there's Hawaiian spirituality, and a corporate military subplot involving space weapons. Okay, now, if I'd read that summary first, I wouldn't have watched it. None of that really would have captured my attention. What happened is I caught part of the trailer, noticed that I liked most of the actors, and I decided to just give it a shot based on them. And I wanted to know, like, when I see something like that, I'm like, what are those actors excited about? What connections or relationships do they have behind the scenes that draw them to the film? Who was smart enough to bring them all together into one project? And so that's how I showed up. Now, I can recommend this movie. It has a constant sense of edgy irreverence. There are subtle subplots and mysteries just floating around waiting to be revealed. It keeps you curious and intrigued without relying on the fear or tension that you get from a horror film or a thriller. So you're on the edge of your seat, but you're not like sick to your stomach. And of course, the acting is excellent. There are seasoned performers. The child actors are great. You can tell that you're watching something made with high quality actors. Okay, writers as well. Never forget the writers. But one of the big criticisms was that the film is confusing and inconsistent. Like, that's the charm. And then it's insensitive to Hawaiian culture. Now, I don't pay attention to critics before I watch a movie. In my opinion, what I like could be completely different. And as for whether or not this movie is insensitive to Hawaiian culture, well, I'm not Hawaiian, so I can't speak to that. But let's be honest, most of the critics are not Hawaiian either. So I think that that particular criticism is probably part of the hyper woke trend that's coming from white guilt, white saviorism ideology. And frankly, I'm relieved that a lot of Americans from many different backgrounds are loudly and unapologetically rejecting that BS right now. So here's a case in point. Emma Stone plays a character who's written as a Hawaiian part Chinese character. And I looked it up. Emma Stone appears to be entirely European in ancestry. But here's the thing. Look at my face. I am a quarter Cherokee and Cheyenne. My mom looks completely European, but she was half native. My grandmother was born on a reservation in Oklahoma, where her family ended up after surviving the forced relocation known as the Trail of Tears. So, you know, Emma could probably actually be part Asian and part Hawaiian. I think that Cameron Crowe chose Emma to play that character because of the energy she brings, her ability to act, and probably some of her relationships with some of the other actors. And I think she did a really, really great job. So I just want to recommend this movie. I'm loving it so far. I have been laughing. I stopped. My kimchi has stopped, so I could come out here and figure out how to share this with you guys. And I am actually posting this before I finish watching the movie. So, the second half could totally suck, but I don't care because so far the first half has been great enough that I can highly recommend it. I mean, it is so funny without on its face attempting to be a comedy. It is so funny. Highly recommend, and have a great day.